Other news you need to know this morning, a bill moving through the Illinois State House would allow stylists and barbers in the beauty industry to not need a license in order to practice in the state. But is that safe? So here to dive into this issue is Amon Carver. He's a renowned stylist and a member of the Professional Beauty Association, which opposes the bill. First of all, thanks for coming on the program.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
What's your opposition to this bill?
Well, as a beauty professional for 20 years and a member of the Pro Beauty Associations, I think it's absolutely dangerous for us to be licensing or allowing people that aren't licensed. In order to get a license, it teaches you about sanitation and health codes that protect not only the service provider, but also our guests. And so, especially at a time like right now, how important is it that we know what we're doing with sanitation? And so, as an artist, a 20-year veteran in the industry, and a member of the Pro Beauty Association, I couldn't be more against the deregulation of licensing.
We were talking about this in the newsroom yesterday because you think about a straight razor shave. I mean, some things could be very dangerous if you're not licensed properly.
Yeah, there's so many things in terms of the tools that we use, sanitation between services, all those things that could pass on disease and pass on anything, you know, from health of the guest to the health of the professional. And so, especially right now, we've been talking all morning, I've been watching about the coronavirus. It's like paramount that we really are considering the health and the safety of our professionals. So, absolutely opposed to this bill passing. It would be ridiculous if we took that away from our beauty professionals.
Yeah, and you know what? My mom is a cosmetologist, so she cuts hair as well, and I always remember her saying, oh, it's time for me to renew my license, right? So I think it's also a sense of responsibility that the cosmetologist, hairstylist, whatever, has in terms of keeping up with requirements, keeping up with protocol. I think that's also super important.
Yeah, continued education is always important, not only for their craft so that they're doing things that are on trend, but also that they're keeping up to date with standards and regulations and keeping things clean and keeping people safe, quite frankly. I think that it's more important than ever that people are aware of what they need to be doing to take those safe practices into action.
What about people that say that the licensing is too expensive, it takes too long to do, and that the process is a burden to some people trying to enter the industry?
It absolutely does not get in the way. In fact, what it does for the beauty professionals, it gives them a sense of credibility and pride in what they're doing. And so it is one of my biggest advocacies is to really help elevate the beauty professional and help them understand that their impact in the world is not just fluff, but it is impactful, and that it does really allow for them to impact people's life, but in a credible way, so that their craft is something that's impactful and it's a career path that's long-lasting for the rest of their career.
What about, say, an amendment, if there could be a compromise in this to a graduated license, where there are steps and layers where you get this license, you don't have to have as much education or as much schooling, and then you get this license and you have to have more, almost like masters and, different degrees?
There are different types of licenses you can get in different states. I would definitely make sure that there's the bare minimum would be sanitation and those kind of things for safety reasons. But there are different states that allow barbering licensing, that aesthetics licensing, and just cosmetology overall. So those kind of things are still into play, but absolutely supporting making sure that licensing stays in place, period.
How expensive is it? How long does it take to get these things?
It just varies from state to state. I don't want to throw out a number right now because I don't want to be caught on air quoting pricing.
Right, yeah.
But it can vary anywhere from 1,000 hours up to 2,000 hours. It's hour-based.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question I have for you, because I've been reading social media comments on this, and it's usually the people who, are born kind of with the talent, and they just go in and they cut hair and they do all this other stuff, and they don't necessarily feel like they need the training that comes with registering for a license. So how do you differentiate that? And you're saying sanitation, you're saying taking proper protocol. Is that kind of the main reason? Because there are people that are like, I'm talented enough.
I can do this already.
I don't need a license.
I think people they're naturally gifted. They do hair, they grow up braiding their mom or their sister's hair, and so they're naturally gifted, and so they feel like that therefore qualifies them to do that. But I think the main thing is to make sure that you're taking those tests to make sure that the things that you're doing are best practices for the health and safety of our guests.
All right. Thanks for stopping on by.
Absolutely. A quick call to action. If you guys want to learn more, go to probeauty.org and you can find out all about this.
Hey, took the tease for you. There you go.
I just like when they just take care of everything. And you can check out more of his creative styles as well. You can follow him on Instagram at Amon Carver.
I wore my salmon shirt.
Salmon, like salmon.
And the producers prep me for that and everything. I'm sorry. Thanks so much for stopping on by.
Of course, guys. Thanks.